I might ask Jan a question if that's all right.
Go ahead, no bother.
How are things, Jan? Thanks for speaking to us. I've found it really interesting what you're saying about the kind of way that found poetry is kind of a transaction or a negotiation with the world around you, and how you find it to be kind of a grounded and more grounding approach than sifting through the psychological garbage, as you say, to find the gems. I was just wondering if you could speak a little bit more about that, about how perhaps it's a more kind of almost humble way of approaching poetry.
Yeah, I think humble is a very good point. I think that I guess it's something that came about because there was a kind of movement in poetry of confessional and the kind of delving deep inside yourself, and that was a kind of reality that of finding stuff that didn't need to be found, kind of thing, I guess. And I think there was just a reaction against that, and people wanted an objectivity, and they wanted a kind of to forget themselves in a way. I mean, poetry doesn't have to be about yourself, and this was a great way of getting out of that, to think of the world, the reality of the world being what is written or said about the world. And so in drawing on that rather than in drawing on kind of emotions and feelings, you're in contact with something real. I don't know that I'm explaining that terribly well, but
no, that's fascinating. It seems like kind of a guard against self-indulgence or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
As someone prone to self-indulgence, that's very promising. Thank you very much.
Okay.
John, may I ask curiosity? Can you give an example of finding something that needed to be found?
Finding something that needed to be found.
You just said that there was this fashion for, that it led to things being found that needed to be found. Since we're talking about found poetry,
yeah, that's right. No, there's nothing. There isn't anything that needed to be found.
Okay.
I definitely needed to find your primer online, though, to bring my found poetry to the next level. Okay, cool. So we don't have any more questions. This is the list that I have for the open mic. So I'll read out the list that I have, and then if I did not say your name, if you could just pop your name again into the chat, just so I haven't missed you. So we're going to start with John F. McMullen, then Nicko, then Moze, then Ada, then Nick Smith, then Sebastien, then Michael, then Marissa, then Roisin, and then Therese. So that's who I have. Again, if you want to read and I didn't read out your name, then please add your name in the chat now. And John, our judge, is going to be listening very carefully. And to kick us all off, we have another John F. McMullen.
This may be cheating because I had written this, my first found poem in the last week. So Cento poem number 1. And the beer I had for breakfast wasn't bad, so I had one more for dessert. We gave an IOU to the devil with a dirty smile, which he added to the growing pile of the promises due me to keep, the day your dreams come true. The bigger the fool, the harder the fall. Love is the reason we happened at all. Why me, Lord? What have I ever done to deserve even one of the pleasures I've known? He's a walking contradiction, partly truth and partly fiction, taking every wrong direction on his lonely way back home. There's a lot of wrong directions on that lonely way back home. Then he keeps right on the change, and for the better or the worse, searching for a shrine he's never found, never knowing if believing is a blessing or a curse. Then I fumbled through the closet for my clothes and I found my cleanest dirty shirt. And I washed my face and combed my hair and stumbled down the stairs to meet the day. My soul is in your hand. Lord, help me, Jesus. All words by Chris Christopherson from Sunday Morning Coming Down. The show goes on. The bigger the fool, the harder the fall. The last to go, why me? And The Pilgrim, chapter 33. And the cento poem is what we call it on this side of the pond. And the word cento is derived from the Latin word meaning patchwork garment. It's also known as a collage poem here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. And next up we have Nicko.
Hi. So I think it's necessary for me to share context because I don't think it's a very popular song. So I pulled the lines from "We're falling throughout eternity. The clock is ticking, but you're still counting sheep. You're still half asleep when it's down to you and me. Will you still be on your knees?" So it's from that I pulled this. So while I pull up this poem, I don't know if you still see me or not, but while I pull up this poem, I just wanted to say, irony is that I wrote this poem before I knew what a found poem was. And I wrote this today. And then El Generalissimo, Brian Franco was like, hey, there's an open mic. So
Nicko, can I just stop you there? Sorry, now I might have been confused, but this section is just for the found poems that you've written in the last 15 minutes. And then once we're finished that, then we're going to go to another open mic, and that will be the perfect time for you to share what came from that beautiful singing you were just doing. Great. So next up we have Moze, just for the writing exercise.
Okay. This one is pulled from 1,000 Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini, which I haven't read, but the rockets began to rain down on Kabul. It was by far the hottest day of the year. His fingers working the meat of a bone. "You can be the iceberg," said Aziza. She watched him walk away. "At some point, the questions will dry up. We can't take a goat on the bus. The village of Galdanam is a fictional place, as far as I know." That's it.
Thank you very much. And next up we have Ada.
That's too soon. Anyway, I was using safe options here, so I often use this in the lieu. It's a copy of Hamlet. So I know the text, but I just drew random numbers. I knew it has 33 lines, each page has 33 lines, and it's handy for fine poetry because the numbers are on the margin, so it's easy. So I just wrote a sequence of numbers. It was 10, 18, 33, 12, 22, 4, anything from 1 to 33 that came to my mind. And then I picked those lines that were, but the page was random, but the line was defined by this draw. So that was the technique I used. And then I rearranged the order though, a bit, so it makes any sense, and pulled away those that didn't make any sense too. And it came out as a congruent garbage or babble or anything that Hamlet might have said to Ophelia, or rather to somebody like Horatio, like confiding in him his plans. And it's a different sort of Hamlet. It's short. "Oh God, I could be bounded in a nutshell, and with them words of so sweet breath composed, force of honesty can translate beauty into his likeness. Let her come in to an exploit now ripe in my device, that has in it no profit but the name." So basically, Rumpy Pumpington. That's it.
I love your technique. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to use that. And next up we have Nick Smith.
Hi everyone. This is DVD titles from the attic. At the inception, serenity was in the torrid zone. Mean girls, cheaper by the dozen, with the usual suspects. A Nightmare Before Christmas, a Bourne Legacy. But all is lost, Johnny English.
Bringing book spy poetry to the 1990s, 2000s with DVD spy poetry. Cool. And next up, we have Sebastian.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, so I tried to be the laziest possible. I did it in between intact text and selected text on a PDF file I have from Jack Kerouac selected haiku. So I took one after another, and I took the first line of the first haiku, the second line of the second haiku, and the third line of the third haiku, and so on, over 15 haiku. And it's all about nature. So that makes this two traveling salesmen all alone in nature in Central Park Zoo. A black bull of snow at dawn. A bird on a grassy hillside, everything is God. A bubble, a shadow, the cat knows old man. After a year and a half, on crossed paws in the silence. That's it.
Wonderful, love it. And next up we have Michael Ray.
Hi there. So the source text for this is from a building construction magazine, and the actual article was called "Do Your Walls Behave Like a Jaffa Cake?" So this is called "Do Walls Like Cake?" Go hard if you have not done so already. I would urge you, there is another even greater interest, the moisture content of a relationship and its ability to store as a curve a certain relative hydroscopicity. A tin, a ginger nut, a densely fruited Christmas, a generous stash of parallels, what we do with cake in buildings.
Manual fan poetry is definitely one of my favorites. It's just so unlikely. And now I want Jaffa cakes. So thanks, Michael. And next up, we have the Lady of the Hearts, Marissa.
Oh my gosh, Lauren, I have had so much fun today. Thank you, everybody, for letting me be here, and for Generalissimo for bringing me to this lovely group of people. This was so much fun. I've never done this before, and I love learning new things. It's just okay. Anyway, so I went, and I thought it was going to be easier than I thought it was going to be harder. And then I went to my spice rack even before you called time, and I just read my cinnamon. And it's really like dirty, like adult dirty, if you think about it. And since you were reading the bathroom and graffiti stuff, I was like, that's cool, DeBarra can handle this. So I totally made this a dirty poem, but it's not dirty, but it's dirty if you're a poet, okay? And it's not organized. I have to organize it, but here we go. Saigon cinnamon, sweet, spicy, red hot candy flavor, fragrant, sweet, baked, depth to savory sauces, roasted meats, certified organic, cloves, the dried flower buds picked just before they open, top quality, pungent, sweet flavor, try one or two. Punch, vanilla pudding, summer honey, muffins, mousse, heat, caution, smoked ghost chilies, about 1 pound each, hot, hot, hot. Open inner pouch, carefully deposit in jar. Replace cap before using. Do not touch after handling. Doesn't get much hotter. Sold exclusively with grinder. Avoid over steaming pots. Always replace cap. We would love to hear about your black pepper grind. No artificial. This is not candy. Follow us. Net weight 400 grams. A preservative, iodized salt, a necessary nutrient. Since 1886, general purpose, versatile, salt that works, table use, shakers, brilliant choice, essential ingredients, serving size, anti-caking agent, incorporated product of the USA, vanilla imitation, the taste you trust, vanilla sauce, cream, slightly thick, marshmallow fluff. Do not microwave in jar. Dip spoon, easy removal, deserves special treatment. Hot water, contains eggs, discard seal, recycle, replace lid. Fantasy fudge, prep time 25 minutes. For comments or suggestions, oh, expired product.
Some sound advice there, Marissa. Always put the cap on. Sound advice.
Thank you.
Great. And Roisin, you're up next.
Yeah. Hey everyone. Thanks, John. Thanks, Lauren. This is my first fan poem ever. So I borrowed accidentally Wes Anderson. It's a great book about architecture that could be in a Wes Anderson movie. And it's a really tiny poem, and I'm calling it Backstroke. Backstroke swimmers in bathing machines carry the view, a convertible ceiling with sick Circassian tiles, a glass of sky.
A glass of sky indeed. And now, just like Pringles, once you pop fan poetry, you just can't stop. So looking forward to hearing more, no doubt, Roisin. And next up we have Therese.
Hi, thank you very much. This has just been wonderful, really. The only thing I did that resembled this is, and it's going to be in an anthology, is we took a bit of a poet and took a chunk of their poem and then we finished it, a paragraph. That's the only thing I ever did similar. So what I did was I had a poem I was going to read later and I did a haiku from my own poem because it's right in front of me. And I like the idea, Lauren, that you spoke about, sort of a different context creates a different meaning, which I do a lot. So this is called The Communion of Saints. The murmured rebuke shaping it into something, losing who we are, fueled by the erotic urge. We come into this place, these ideas are now replaced, shaped to speak the truth, endless participation. No pie in the sky, grandfather sitting on high. We tell this story, never losing who we are. Endless love and space. The magic cosmos is here. It's a lot of fun. Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
So glad that you're able to be here, and along with all of our international guests. It's a great crack, as the Irish would say, having you here to spice it up for us, eh, Marissa? Anyway, that was terrible. Next up we have Katherine.
Woo! Hi everyone. Sorry, I'm going to bring down the tone a small bit because I took these lines down from news stories and adoption stories based around the mother and baby homes, but it's very short. So I called it Window Song. I saw men going down with an orange box, rusty nails bent on whitewashed walls, unsung burial. I realized at that point they had my baby in that box. Where was the other one? Sold to America. 50 years later, he found me.
Thank you, Katherine. And last but certainly not least, I have Ruth. And if anybody else has changed their mind and wants to read, just pop your name in the chat. Otherwise, we'll finish up with Ruth.
Certainly wasn't expecting that. Sorry. So wait there now a second. Sorry. Oh, my phone just won't. So this is a poem that I found in a returns code when I wanted to just send something back, and I might have been having an affair with someone. And I just wanted to kind of just let things go, but this is how it goes. There's a returns code for the things I purchased. It made me think of you. If we could return, you're not what I expected. And recently your delay has me changing my mind.
Wonderful as always, Ruth.
Just try one, Lauren.
Yeah, sure, go ahead, Max.
I suppose I just really grabbed my book, very old book, and I just went through buzzwords. Celtic mysteries. There's a primal energy of the tantric rite from the navel of the world. From Delphi to Castle Strange, the stone of Roscommon. They spin through spiral journeys around beehives of cobblestones of the south, burying now in the stone boats of the north. In your quest through massive slabs, visions of the shaman of the druids, annual rites of renewal, of ceremonies of the dead. There are temples of the sky, seasonal rhythms of the chant. In heroic realms, the beard pullers line on the book of Kells, astronomical causeways back to themselves. Lozenges and lattices, not working key patterns, top-tail knots, hind leg kicks, not weaving of the school, where the stone of the human heads carve their active naming, where language begins, where they name the noble, the mystic center of the Celtic cross. I think that was a bad bottom line, but that's just a link of the terms.
Thanks, Mags. That was absolutely fantastic. I'm delighted so many people were up for participating and sharing their exercise poems. That was wonderful and hilarious on so many levels. Thank you all. And John, do you feel ready to announce a winner now, or do you feel like you need a couple more minutes? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute, John.
Sorry,
No
got it now? Okay, yeah. Okay, so I think there were two poems that I thought were really great poems, which I enjoyed ever so much, which were Mags and Katherine. But the overall winner, because it's such a great idea to create a found poem out of your own already written poem, I'm going to go for Therese.
Congratulations, Therese.
No, I can't even tell you how exciting that is. I spent most of my life writing poetry and sticking it in drawers because nobody ever responded to it, and I thought it was bad poetry.
Well, now you are a winner. You are a DeBarra competition winner.
That is so nice. I appreciate it so much.
You don't win anything except the title, which is amazing.
Well, that makes me happy. I sort of can't believe it, actually.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, John. And well, before I get too ahead of myself, we're going to go into our ordinary open mic now, and Margaret is going to run that. And you're going to sign up in the same way. You can just add your name to the chat. And I think that Nicko wants to go first, Margaret, because I know he has to head away. So hopefully we can make that happen. And so while you're thinking on if you want to do the open mic and adding to the chat, I just want to say thank you so much again, John. You made my life a night by coming tonight. It was fantastic hearing you read, and it was just so special.
Thanks so much. I'm going to leave at this stage, if that's okay with you.
Perfect.
It's been a great evening. I really enjoyed it.
Nice
Thanks
to meet
so
you.
much.